When you're trying to change your behavior, forget about the goal you're trying to achieve, the external outcome, and instead focus on the change in identity you want to happen. This is a concept that I first read about in James Clear's book, Atomic Habits, which I highly recommend, by the way. And there's this passage near the beginning of the book that really encapsulates it well, so I'm just gonna read it to you here. Imagine two people resisting a cigarette. When offered to smoke, the first person says, "No thanks, I'm trying to quit." It sounds like a reasonable response, but this person still believes they are a smoker who is trying to be something else. They are hoping that their behavior will change while carrying around the same beliefs. The second person declines by saying, "No thanks, I'm not a smoker." It's a small difference, but this statement signals a shift in identity. Smoking was a part of their former life, not their current one. They no longer identify as someone who smokes. So the general idea here is that once you've embraced a change in your identity, you're gonna find yourself acting in alignment with that change. And if you're wondering why exactly this happens, the third chapter of Robert Cialdini's book, Influence, the Psychology of Persuasion, has a great explanation for it. Essentially, humans feel this natural compulsion to act consistently with their past decisions. As he writes in the book, once we have made a choice or taken a stand, we will encounter personal and interpersonal pressures to behave consistently with that commitment. Those pressures will cause us to respond in ways that justify our earlier decision. And shifting my mindset in this way has been incredibly helpful in the past couple of months.
But there are some actually keys that very, very disciplined people have, and here is the most important one. And this would change your life if you do it. And I had to make myself do this. It was not natural at all. You must do what you don't want to do first. People who are hugely successful do this. They do the thing they hate first of all. I worked with somebody who was morbidly obese, and I said, you know, you have to work out. When I hate working out, you know, I'm heavy, it's really uncomfortable. I said, no, not only have you got to do it, you got to do it first. And I had to do that too. You see, if you don't like going to the gym and you go, I'll go later, then something happens, the phone rings, you eat something, you think, oh, it's too late now. When you go first, you think later, oh, I went to the gym first. I feel like a winner. You got to make a very difficult call. You got to ring someone who owes you money, or confront someone that you don't want to confront, and you wait. And all day it's hanging over your head, making you feel so bad. But when you do it first, you feel like a winner. Because people who have discipline do this. They do the thing they do not want to do first. And I want you to start saying that. I was giving a speech recently, and the guy who came on after me said, you know, I kept hearing a voice in my head going, Marissa said, do what you don't want to do first. He said, that has changed my entire business life. And all my staff remember that too. What do we not want to do? What's the worst job? Let's do that first and get it out of the way. And of course, in the beginning, this will be what you do, but you know what will happen? It starts to become who you are. It becomes easy. It becomes seamless. It's a bit like putting lenses in your eye. It feels seriously odd to suddenly jam your finger in your eye. But if you do it every day, it becomes easy. Because that's how habits are formed. You make a habit, and then your habits make you. So make your habits amazing.
From my perspective, when people ask me all the time, I lack discipline, how can I get discipline in my life? And no one wants to hear this answer. No one wants to hear it.
Just do it.
One of the first steps you can take to impose discipline in your life is to wake up early in the morning. Because let's face it, when the alarm goes off, you got your head on that soft pillow. It's all nice and cozy and warm in there. You do not feel like getting up. And so he
doesn't even have a snooze alarm. He doesn't ever hit the snooze alarm.
Yep.
You do?
And you should not. You should not. That snooze alarm is...
That's insane.
I call that snooze alarm the dream killer. Like when you press that snooze button, you're killing your dreams. So don't touch the snooze button. Now
some would say that might be a little extreme.
No, where people get worried and people freak out is sleep is healthy. Sleep is good for you. I know that. I get it. And people say, you're telling people not to sleep. No, I'm not telling people not to sleep.
You do 6 hours every night, 10 o'clock.
Yeah, I usually go to bed around 10:30, 11, and I wake up at 4:30. So I get 5.5 to 6 hours almost every night, you know? And sometimes I tell people, I think sleeping is good. I do it almost every single day. So, but people will freak out and say, you're telling people to be unhealthy. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not, if you need, different people have different genetic needs for sleep. I'm one of those people that doesn't need much. Of my 4 kids, my oldest daughter needs even less sleep than I do. My middle daughter sleeps more like my wife. My son's somewhere in the middle, which, by the way, that means my middle daughter, she gets out of bed when you get her out of bed in the morning. She likes to sleep. So I'm not telling people, hey, don't sleep, but I am saying put yourself on a schedule. And you ask why I don't sleep in. If I sleep in on a Saturday until 6 o'clock, that night I'm going to have more energy. And instead of going to bed at 10:30 or 11, I'm going to stay up until midnight because I got a little bit extra sleep. Well, now that next day I'm going to sleep in a little bit more. Now all of a sudden Sunday I'm sleeping in until 7 o'clock. Now Sunday night I can't go to bed until 1 o'clock in the morning, and you see where I'm going with this. I go into Monday with a lack of sleep because I couldn't fall asleep. So the most important thing is set a good wake up time that works for you, where you get enough sleep, and then wake up that time every day if you can.